I'm gonna be the next Hokage.
All right. Welcome back to the Shonen Bros podcast. This is episode 5. Today, once again, talking about Demon Slayer and some extra bullshit shenanigans towards the end, like we always do. What'd y'all think of the episode?
Phenomenal. I think we say that about every episode so far.
Oh, no, I noticed listening back to the other episodes that CJ always starts off saying, best one yet? Best one so far? He says it about every single one.
Well, go ahead.
What do you think, CJ?
Yeah.
Was it? Best one yet, okay.
Which, I think truthfully it is.
They should get better every single time. I hope so, anyways.
Had the most action out of all of them so far.
It left me wanting more. Every time it ends, I'm like, that it's already the end?
Yeah. Every single time I'm like, there's no way. I just watched all of that and it's already over. Like, these things need to be kind of like how it was in the first episode where it was like 42 minutes long. And then now there's just like 22. I'm just like, okay, cool, great. So this one started out with which character up front? Nosuke?
Did it start with Nosuke?
No, it started with
it started with Tanjiro.
Yeah, Tanjiro, and he was fighting.
Well, actually, it started with the Sound Hashira. Because didn't it start off talking about like basically how he found his wives? Yeah, they were shinobis.
Mm-hmm.
Who apparently didn't have any self-will or...
Well, he found her in that broken down, wrapped up, and it cut her free. He told her to go home. That's what it started with.
Yeah, but then that follows a backstory and backflash of how they became his wives and stuff. Apparently, it's part of his clan that when he turns a certain age, I think it is, or something, he gets a choice of 3 wives. But one of them, I don't know which one it was, actually came forward and presented herself as one of the as the options. He chose the other. I mean, he still chose the one, but she kind of like, hey, let me be your bitch.
Let me be your
And apparently they didn't have any like regard for their own lives. Because his whole thing was like, I want you to put your lives first, then civilians, and then me. But most important, you come back alive to me. And they're like, is it okay for us to want to live?
Mad respect.
While they're wearing fishnets with big ass tits sitting on the rock side, talking about this deep ass question, like I'm a little distracted.
I would say there's one thing that also stood out. Inosuke is a dislocation of all of his bones, and they're wiggling through the ground.
Yeah,
and he was
like
laughing about it.
Yeah. Then he gets back and he's just like pops shit back in place. Yeah,
like nothing happened. Did that freak you guys out? It freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, I have it on here as something to talk about. This dislocates all his joints, and then following that is
he like jumps in there. His head fits. He's like, don't worry about it.
He's like, ha, so my head doesn't fit. Joke's on you.
If my head couldn't fit, my
entire body can fit.
Yeah, because I can just locate everything. Yeah, he's crazy.
Wild board.
But that following that is Zenitsu's thunderclap, his breathing technique again.
He comes in such clutch moments so often.
Now, I wonder, do you think he'll ever be able to use his technique awake?
I want to say yes, but I like him when he's knocked out, unconscious.
I mean, it's kind of a funny, like, little trade that he has to be, like, knocked out or passed out.
It makes
to be
me
able to use
think that he's going to fight kind of weak-like, because he's going to train his body up, obviously. He's going to do something, but he's just going to come across an upper-level demon and get knocked out and then whoop his ass just immediately because he's got knocked out.
Yeah, I think at some point there's going to be...
It happened in this last one. He got knocked across the room.
Yeah. Well, I think at some point there's going to be like kind of like how Tanjiro in this episode sitting there trying to like talk his way through his technique or whatever. I think
Mhm.
something similar is going to happen with Zenitsu, where he's going to be like, I have to be able to stand up and do this consciously because he's obviously trained it, so he's got to know he can do it. There's just some kind of weird mind body connection there that he just can't put two and two together while conscious.
For Tanjiro's sister.
Yeah.
That was cool to see. Tanjiro's just evolution mid fight.
He finds I have that. Yeah, he finds out that he kind of puts two and two together that he
Him running a fever and then him being hot in battle.
well he kind of
Similarities.
they
between
finally
the
say
fight.
that his he isn't compatible with the water breathing.
Mhm.
Like it's hard for him to do, but it's
Mhm.
easy for him to do his Hinokami Kagura. But the after backslash of it is what he has trouble with.
The drawback of having to use all of that.
But because of his recovery breathing, he's able to keep doing it
Mhm.
now, which he's kind of putting those pieces together as he's fighting. But
That was very cool.
yeah, it's cool technique. So is it similar? Is it connected to that flame Hashira's technique, or is it something
Rengoku?
completely separate?
I think
Because it's not
there's
like he
some
called it
similarities.
Hinokami Kagura.
Yeah.
Because it's sun breathing, isn't it? Isn't that what it was? Or what it is? Remember? Because like his
Tanjiro's this? Yeah.
yeah, what Tanjiro is. Yeah, he calls it Hinokami Kagura or whatever.
Mhm. The sun dance breathing.
Did y'all know he damaged another sword?
Yeah. Broke and chipped more of the edge because he is not a qualified swordsman.
Yeah, that fucking
So you know.
that's
You know
blacksmith
he's
is just
a
gonna
rebel.
lose
Shit.
his fucking mind if he has to make another. What? How many would this be? Fourth or fifth?
His fourth one.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
it's
Because he threw
ridiculous.
it at the lower level demon,
Uh-huh.
or the upper level demon from Mugen Train.
He
already
broke one fighting the little kid in the forest, the spider
Yeah.
dude. Another
chipped this one.
yeah.
Yeah. So this will on his next one he'll have a fourth sword.
Yeah. Whatever. But what was it? The destroyer of demons blades.
Those swords.
Y'all notice
were
that?
badass.
Like the gold, and they're almost like nunchuck
nunchucks.
blades. And yeah, it's got
so
destroyer
good.
of demons written on it.
Dude, when he
Mhm.
broke into that,
And they're
he
like,
went through so much earth to break open the roof
yeah,
to that.
it was basically like a spider web, like cave full of just like people ready for feeding whenever she.
That was the worst damn drawn. That was just
Oh, the worm.
yes.
She
The
looked
back
like an
end of the towel or
Oh,
whatever.
you said.
Towel.
So I didn't understand that. Is it? They almost make it seem like it's a separate demon in a way. The way that they were
That
having
was- I feel like it was
conversation
just
with
a
each other.
harvester. Yeah. All it was a harvester. It wasn't really.
Yeah, but she's. I'm not the real one. She says that, so that makes it seem like okay. Well, maybe she's not an actual demon in herself, but the way their conversation was
That's
going.
how I took it. Was like she somehow part of the six, but just like I don't know.
I know they're connected, but from their conversation, it almost seemed like they were their own entities, but just kind of like I don't know, working together, connected in some way. But I don't think that's the case, just because of her, kind of going back on that and saying I'm not the real one. So she is just kind of like just part of that belt shit.
Hmm.
And then the fucking Inosuke's senses are just strong enough that he knows just to cut where exactly to cut, just to
Mhm.
knock everyone out.
He
of
did
the
that backflip
Without
and he kicked his swords to
uh-huh,
get out of
kicked
the
it.
way.
Yep.
That was badass.
It
I
was like
like,
his
oh,
sense of
shit.
not sense of danger, but his sense of killing intent is
Right.
so strong. Like, he doesn't even have to think; he just reacts, just because his animal instinct.
You're crazy.
I'm king of the mountains. Nice to meet you. Uh,
Dude, the Hosher though, when he popped in there and like unraveled them fucking swords,
he
and
didn't even unravel them. He just grabbed them and then just all the
yeah,
everything just kind
so
of ripped off
whatever.
behind him. Yeah.
I'm watching a lot of Bleach. He unravels.
and then
things
all of a
and
sudden,
touches it.
all the all his wives just become immediately just wet,
Yeah.
just moist for him.
Yeah. The what the
I'm not a
Lord
good fighter.
crying.
You know this. I'm not a good fighter.
It's too much to ask.
Too much ass. We'll do the best we can.
It was funny.
Yeah.
They're
Anything else about that
drawn
episode?
weird. They were a little short.
I
Huh?
thought they
To
were
me.
cute.
Who, the
I thought they were
wives?
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't think
felt like they
anything
were
weird
like the
about it.
size of Tanjiro. You mean it's like
Y- y-
16-year-old
I mean,
boy.
they're chicks. They're not gonna be tall and as tall as the fucking Hashira or some shit.
They're
I don't know
also
what you were expecting.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Japanese people
Hey,
are all
I
kind of
see a
short.
lot, see a lot of tall Japanese chicks on TikTok nowadays.
I'm on a different side of TikTok than you, apparently.
For you pages are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask this because we're talking about it in a way. It relates to Demon Slayer. Out of the three, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, which breathing technique would you rather have?
You want me to go first? Or you want me to go first? CJ?
Now, when I say Zenitsu's, I would assume you could use it conscious. Or do you want to say you could only use it passed out? Okay, I'll say you can only use it exactly like they did. So which
Okay.
one would you?
Honestly, I think I would really like to have Inosuke's beast breathing, just
Really?
because it seems like it's sheer will power, and I think that'd be cool as fuck to have. Zenitsu is a close follow up, but I would also enjoy. But it just seems Tanjiro's breath breathing techniques are just difficult. Like he gets hurt all the fucking time for his stuff.
I felt like his takes the most physical demand out of all of
Yeah.
them. So they might have the
Flashiest looks.
almost, I was going to say the most like pure power behind it.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's, I mean, it's got to be true, but I don't know.
Mine's
To
gonna be
me,
Tanjiro.
really? See,
Yeah.
maybe
So I want
once
to
he
spit.
gets farther down the road and we'll see like what he can really do with sun breathing, it probably is going to be like obviously Tanjiro. But as they are right now, I just think Zenitsu's thunder breathing is badass. Even if
Okay.
he's only passed out,
Oh, as long as I cut
the
your head off.
fucking. You remember when she's like, "Did I hear
Can't
what
wake
is
up.
that sound? I hear two sounds." She's like, "Oh, it's the thunder and the clapping of the his ability that she hears."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Zenitsu's massive nuts.
Yeah, this is- they're not so massive. Uh,
I don't
That's
know.
cool. I'm glad we kind of all picked
Tanjiro,
a
I'll
different
be
one.
like, shut the fuck up, peasants.
That's not Tanjiro.
Ah.
no, I mean Hinokami Kagura is badass, it's-
Very true.
but
Just talking about how my breathing techniques is the original. Y'all copy me.
yeah,
Sorry.
but
I'm the OG.
you just lay there on your side, breathing in pain after using it twice. Right now, I can be asleep and use mine, bitch. I could be taking a nap and kick your ass.
I just used it more than twice. Thank you.
I'd be awake. I'd be like, "Fuck you guys, get training,"
Yeah,
and then just
I
keep
can-
working.
I want to see more of was it Tengen or Tegan?
My
Tengen.
sister's hat.
And see like the sound Hashira, what exactly he can do with his sound techniques. I'm guessing.
Well, he just blew open the earth. I
Yeah.
don't know if that.
Yeah, but
mean-
it didn't even show it.
Nope.
It didn't even go into any detail.
He
How
just shows
cut
up.
Yeah,
And then cuts up some cloth. Hey.
I want to see. I wanted him to fight the
That's
upper
power.
Yeah, I'm sure
Tanjiro
that
about
he's
to do that
gonna.
shit.
You think
that
Tanjiro's gonna
shit-
finish it? You don't think Tegan's gonna
No.
come and save him? I think he
Yeah,
might
so-
hurt her. He's not gonna finish it.
No,
He's
Yeah,
gonna show up
no.
and finish it off.
No way.
He's not gonna just show up and Tanjiro's like, "Sorry,
Tanjiro
I had this bitch
just
done.
got
Thanks for
smashed,
showing up."
man. He had it
Tanjiro.
going, and they gave it to us. They were like, "Oh shit, is he about to do some damage?" And he gets that, and he sees the line, and she's just like,
Too
You're too
slow,
slow.
"Throwing me with
bitch.
this speed, what?" And it's like, whack. And he's oh shit. Nah,
He's like,
he's gonna
defensive
have this
position,
shit.
defensive position. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
it
gonna
didn't
have
work
to
out for
say
him. Yeah, he's just gonna be sad. He's probably gonna do some like last will of his, physical ability where he might damage her a little bit, and she's like, "What the fuck?" But it's gonna be Tango that's gonna come in and be just
Yeah.
wipe her.
Oh, he
Destroy.
already didn't she already say something about him hitting her or something? Like
Who, Tengen?
Or
no, Tanjiro hitting the upper six the first time he hit her with the sun breathing or whatever.
All she said basically was that you're more entertaining than I thought you were going to be.
Yeah.
Basically, this is basically she's just having more fun. 'Cause it's
toying. Just
not
toying.
as easy to kill this rat in front of her.
Yeah.
All she sees.
It's a little compliment if you look at it in the right way.
It was a good episode though. Anything else y'all want to touch in on that episode?
I did like the Taisho era secret at the very end.
Yeah.
I was
Talking about his family,
Haruya.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I was just talking about traditional lords back in the time period.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Taisho
He's talking
era.
about Tengen's family history.
No, I
that-
was just talking about that was a real.
Yeah, but I
like,
thought they were
history.
trying to tie that into like basically this is kind of the backstory of Tengen's like
I mean,
ancestry.
it was.
This is
Yeah.
why he's got 3 wives.
Thought it was
Um,
cool because they just wrapped it back around to it. It's a cool little side piece, a little nin.
I would rather these little ending pieces to be more of like a sneak peek of what's coming though. Not these little
True.
cutesy
Something
like
random.
flashy
Yeah.
rats or whatever the fuck they end up doing.
The muscle
You know?
rats.
Yeah.
This ain't Marvel, homie.
It
You
could
know,
be.
sneak peeks.
Didn't they mention in this episode like how Zenitsu gets his sword? It's because the buff rats bring it to him.
They just showed like these rats brought the swords.
Yeah, that's all they said. It was like, oh, you're wondering how he got his sword back? No, not really. But I guess the rats got it to him. Flashy,
The
buff
flashy
rat.
rats.
Yeah. I want to see tiny little sword nunchucks on them bitches.
Yeah.
Doing little fighting shit.
That's funny.
Anything else on that?
I think it wrapped up
Demon Slayer.
episode quite well.
All right.
Me and
Anything
Jacob
else?
have COVID, everybody.
Yeah,
Or had.
yeah.
Recovering.
We're recovering from COVID now.
They're on their last stint. Second time for CJ.
Second time. From
Great immune system you got there, bud.
Took out his entire business of work.
yeah.
How many sick days have you used since working for City?
Zero. That's
I mean,
all- I'll have to
okay.
check my-
Let me use
I've
that
only
different.
had
How
COVID.
many times have you called out sick? Is what I'm more mean.
What? Three times?
Like 3 or 4
2
times.
weeks.
Yeah. In a short period of time.
Well, technically, it's a new year.
COVID.
Does it roll over
I
to the
mean-
new year? Are these whole new sick days you're using?
I'm not talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about in general him using his like actual sick. I'm just talking about how often he's gotten sick in the last 4 or 5 months and had to call out.
Twice. With COVID, both with COVID. I was talking some shit. Like I just get upset stomach and call out. No, these are like
But other than the COVID, you've called out at least,
Illnesses.
I want to say at least twice without it being COVID. Yeah.
not in the last 2 or 3 months.
I'm talking about since you've been working there.
What's what I've done before you even started working there and have to do
No, I'm
anymore.
talking about since I've been working there. I give
Yeah,
a
I've been
shit
there
or
for
know about
6
what you did before I started working there. That didn't make any fucking sense.
Well, no, you can go back and look at my shit. I've only been out twice prior, unless I've had like a concert to go to.
Twice prior, not including the concert? Or are you talking about with the concert?
Well, no, I'm not counting my vacations and shit I've taken.
No, I'm talking about as sick. I'm not talking
Sick
about anything else.
days, no, once or twice before COVID.
Yeah, so you've been out twice for COVID and twice for other regular sick stuff. That's what I'm saying.
I don't see
It's like
how
4
that's
times.
a lot of times being out in 6 months of working somewhere.
I don't know, it is a lot to me since I haven't been sick and like sick enough to miss a day of work in 6 years. So it just seems like a lot to me, I guess.
This is
In a
the
short
first
period of time.
I've had to use sick days, but the company I'm working for, they're really good with me. They said I could use my vacation time and just take that out.
I wouldn't want to use my fucking vacation time.
We get like
Especially if I had COVID. I'm glad City pays extra.
we get like a month of vacation just throughout the year.
A month? Like you just
So
they just give
we
you a month, or you
accumulate-
gotta accumulate your time.
We accumulate, yeah. It just build up over time.
Yeah.
But it adds up really quickly because the time that I've been working there, which really hasn't been that long, I already have accumulated over like 48 hours. And I've used a couple vacation days too.
I don't have any vacation time. I don't think CJ does either yet, right? Or when do you hit your 6 months?
I've been here 6 months.
Huh? You've
I've
hit
been
yours?
here 6 months already. Mhm.
I haven't hit mine yet. Fucking Steven was saying that he was gonna hit his in like this month or something. I don't think that math adds up. I'm pretty sure I started in like August or something, maybe, if that. So I don't know how he would have. He started like 3 or 4 days before. Because I was looking at it the other day, like how I have sick time I can use. I just don't have, which I thought I didn't get sick time either until I hit 6 months. I don't know how that works. But when I go on to my Paycom, it's got time accumulated to use as sick time, but no time accumulated to use as vacation
Mhm.
time. For whatever reason.
Speaking of using vacation time and using sick time, since mine are accumulated into a nice little bubble, I've been using that time to watch a little bit more anime. Started watching Mob Psycho, which Hunter, you've told me about it before, but
You watched the first episode, right?
yeah,
It's just so
okay.
cartoon. It's just so.
It's
I
got.
don't know.
I've heard, you've told me that it gets a lot better.
Apparently,
later down
I've just
the
been
road.
told that. Like Caden's watched all of it. My brother has watched it, and he keeps telling me that it's great. And I think it was like 2016 or 2017. I could be wrong on that. They won like best animation of the year for their anime.
So I think,
but that first
first
episode's just stupid.
It's very childish.
With him
it's
being a
about-
fake psychic, and then the kid
Yeah.
doing everything, and the biker
like-
gang in the tunnel, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would have to really like give it a try and like push through the first like.
I would say
5 or
since it's
6
the
episodes.
First time seeing it, I would think it's got some potential. Because it's the same creator from One Punch Man.
It is,
I'm
and you
thinking
can
of giving
tell
it
in
a
the
few
animation.
times. Yeah, I mean the guy's his face is like
Yeah,
modeled after the same way.
it's pretty clear. Like it's the same
Mm-hmm.
animator or something. Which usually the creator and the animator, are they the same thing, or is it usually a creator and an animator?
Pretty sure there's some sort of partnership.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
Creator
can't.
Does the creator usually the one that draws it all up too,
Hmm.
or do they just do the story?
Pretty sure they draw it up too.
Like, what's the guy
It's
for
kinda like-
Naruto? Did he
There's only one
create
guy.
all that art as well? Do you know, CJ? If it's both,
Like for the show.
nah,
Like, did he-
for both
did he make
manga
the-
show. It doesn't matter which one. But I'm wondering, like, what's his name, Masashi Kishimoto, who
Yeah,
created
he
Naruto.
drew.
He did draws. I didn't know if it was like a separate thing, like the animator and the story, like person creator, whatever.
Well, I think that's a. You can be an
Oh,
illustrator,
God.
not an animator. Like you drew your artwork in your manga, but then somebody animates it. I think
Yeah,
that could be
yeah.
a whole different thing. But
True.
I feel like this is so stupid. So if you look up Naruto and just leave it just blank on the Google search results, the autofill, it goes Naruto Shippuden, Naruto characters, Naruto Uzumaki, and then Naruto Fortnite. Be sad.
Makes you sad. Actually, some cool skins they came out with.
I mean, they're cool.
Shitty
but
game. Cool. Cool.
what was
Skins.
this no gun jutsu that shoots him down?
Does he?
I saw that.
I just know of it. I haven't. That's one
Eli
game that
hasn't.
I doubt I will ever go back to. Ever.
Sometimes.
It had its part in our gaming little history there, but it's just not for me. Fuck building shit. If they had a version of that game where you had like 100 mats of each material and that's it, that I'd like.
500.
Do what?
Range was 500
Of
cap.
each material.
No.
That's still fucked up material. When someone shoots at when you shoot at one guy and all of a sudden he builds the fucking Eiffel Tower in front of you immediately. You're just okay.
Mm.
There was a lot of fights in that game where you're like, you start the fight off and then they've built so much. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna run over here. I don't even want to finish this fight anymore. This is just stupid. I'm not climbing all the way up there just to find you in this maze of buildings just because you got hit once.
See, the last time I played Fortnite,
I shoot the base.
yeah, I just didn't even bother with it. I just kept shooting everybody down. Said, not building. Wasn't terrible.
I watched like the pros, like if it's like a big tournament, the pro shit's fun to watch because they're on a fucking different fucking scale, obviously, like their editing and shit and how they slip in
Oh.
shit, fucking ridiculous. That shit's entertaining to watch. But playing someone was saying, what was it the other day? It was like a something I saw on TikTok about like what competitive games have real skill, and I think they used Rainbow Six Siege. They used, I want to say Fortnite, Rainbow Six, and there was like one other one, but they were basically dogging on how Call of Duty as a esport is what they were doing.
I will say, Rainbow Six, whenever I had all the characters unlocked, was awesome. I had a lot of fun playing that game.
Have you played it on PC?
I have.
Yeah.
I actually
Fucking
rebought the
hard.
game.
So it's harder.
I mean,
Yeah.
for PC, I mean, if you hook up a controller, it's like playing like it was on Xbox.
Yeah.
But there's
I
just
think-
so many different things you can do. Like you can actually lay down on PC and then still turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the esports played on PC, keyboard, mouse. I think the only
I personally feel like I would. There's more skill in Overwatch than there is Call of Duty, and I'd much rather watch an Overwatch match.
unless you're
I
bashing.
think the only thing that could make that arguable is the abilities
No.
and
Everybody's
having
got
set
abilities.
positions. But like just like any esport, like the pros are just on like a completely different playing level. Same thing with COD. Like they're playing a different game than what we play. You know, we don't play nearly the same game. I've been watching a lot of like the Halo tournaments lately. That shit's fun as fuck to watch because every one of those game modes is so fucking competitive with like how they have
How do
each
they
team has
play
to
the oddball?
communicate. I mean, it's
How
a.
is oddball played in like pro status? Like
I mean,
that's probably my least favorite game mode
because it's
that
hard.
Halo has to offer.
It's fucking hard. All of them are hard. Honestly, Slayer's the only one that's like so very straightforward. Just get kills. But like Stronghold with the flag capturing, the oddball, like if you're not you gotta know like where they're spawning, how many people are alive, where to rotate the ball based off of where the other team is spawning, off the kills that you got, playing for time, ball time, everything. All that shit comes into play.
Mm.
And Halo is already so much more competitive with the team aspect of it. With like, you can't just go 1v3 some guys most of the time. Unless they
Unless
were
you have
already
the sword.
weak. If they were already weak, grenade, something, maybe. But most of the time, you have to play with your team. Like team shot, back off, play your life. It's just it's not so individual. So it makes like those game modes so much more difficult to actually just go and like carry if your team's not on the same page.
I love playing Halo. I've missed
Call
it.
out wise, call outs are so important. Call outs are super important in like Call of Duty esports too. But you can go in COD and get a 3-piece off a skill alone. Can't do that in Halo unless they're just trash. But like the pros, like they're not getting 3 pieces off of just. I'm just gonna go 1v3 these guys. No, can't do that shit. Just makes it very aggravating because of how hard the game modes are though, because of how the play style is. I enjoy it. I really. I've liked this Halo a lot so far.
I'm happy with the way it's been introduced. I liked how they dropped it early, kind of as a bit of a
They
surprise.
did everything right
Yeah.
from the get go. That's been a lot of the talk in gaming community lately. I don't know if y'all have seen any of it. I listen to a lot of like esports podcasts and stuff, mainly on like Call of Duty side of stuff for esports. But they've been comparing Call of Duty esports to Halo esports since the like beginning of esports. And Halo was always ahead. And then all of a sudden Halo just completely erased off the map. After Halo 5, it was gone.
That's because
They were
fucked up
just
the
doing.
story.
They were doing. That has nothing to do with fucking campaign story.
They
For
messed it up. It
esports,
ruined it.
but they just weren't. It just wasn't hitting right. So they like completely went away. Call of Duty came up to like a really high point in their esports, and now they're on like a fucking jet down because Activision and all they give a shit about right now is making money off of war. They just don't give a shit about the CDL. CDL is the pro league, but they have these teams buy in as a franchise for like $25 million, and they're not putting any effort into building their communities. Like it's terrible. Like they haven't had the game has been out since when did Vanguard come out? Been out for a decent minute now, like at least 3 months. At least hasn't been a single like actual tournament. Their first tournament's this month.
Well, the new
They haven't
Caldera
even
map,
come out with their third competitive game mode yet. They just announced the third competitive game. So like
I
the
know
pro
that
teams
Caldera.
have nothing to play other than hard point against each other, basically hard point and search, because they didn't know what that third game mode was to be. They had nothing to make content on because there was no tournaments or anything other than Warzone. So everyone in the COD community is like pissed off right now because there's like there's nothing for us. We can't make anything.
I mean,
When
I don't know.
Halo came out day one with awesome ranked, they immediately announced their full year schedule of major tournaments and a crowdfunding tournament at the end of the year to make millions off of a prize pool. They've been the actual like people like that organize the tournaments give their footage to the pro teams to use for content, which is like unheard of. Usually, yeah, you have to make your own content there or wherever. All the recordings, everything they have, point of view wise, everything they've sent to every single pro team, so every team can make content around the competitive scene. So they're all in on the competitive scene for Halo. COD's just fucking dying.
Well, to be honest, whenever we played the Caldera map, the newest Warzone map, I
Mhm.
was not impressed with the way it was done. The guns there, they don't operate the way they should. I've
No.
seen TikTok videos, and
Mhm.
I've seen some plenty of other content creators that just they go to shoot, the ridicule goes a sky.
There's a reason why like the top streamers are barely playing Warzone. Other than the Warzone
Apex,
pros,
that.
yeah, Apex is in a way better position. Apex has never
killing
been
that.
like the top game, like with viewership and tournaments and stuff, like prize pool and stuff, but they are so consistent. Like their viewership stays consistent. Their tournaments stay consistent. Everything just stays on a level playing field. Yeah, they have their issues too, but um, with their ranked mode and how they support their creators and everything, it's just a better scene and community than COD right now. Again, even Warzone, like there was a Warzone tournament. It was like a solos tournament. Like 90% of the people were running fucking riot shields. It's fucking.
Lame.
It was terrible to watch. The only reason I watched is because one of the COD pros, like normal COD pros, who's been in it since beginning, Seth Abner, his name's Scumper Jumper. This is like tag. Um, he went in and played that solo tournament and won the whole thing. Won $100,000.
Dang.
Didn't use a riot shield. Didn't get his load out until like close to final circle. And won the game with most kills in the lobby. So it was like, yeah, it was crazy. Everyone was like, all hail the king. Like, just to come in and like show up all these Warzone bitches were using fucking riot shields like pussies.
I remember there was a time whenever it was dropped, like the second riot shield they made, where you could double up the riot shield, so you could have like one of the Modern Warfare riot shields and the Vanguard riot shield on your back.
Ridiculous.
And you just couldn't die, or it would be a lot harder for you to die. You had to get stuck with like a thermite or something.
Yeah, their whole thing was basically they were using, I guess, overkill where you can have two primaries?
Yeah.
And I think the riot shield is considered a primary.
Yeah.
Yep.
In that, so they were having a riot shield on their back and then a primary, so they couldn't get shot in the back in solos. So, and everyone was playing like bitches. I mean, camping. I mean, it was a custom lobby, so there's no randoms. Everyone in that full lobby is a pro player. So I get why you're gonna play campy until like circles push them in and you have to play for kills. I get that in the beginning of the game. But
I mean, especially
still,
if you've got 100,000 on the line. 100K.
yeah, exactly. But still, it was
My
just
baby.
so. It was just like I couldn't believe the amount of people using riot shields.
Cause they're some bitches.
And he was going, and he even said like I went in with like a CDL loadout, which is like the regular pro stuff. Like I went in with like what I would use as an AR and pistol setup in my pro games. So it's not even something you would use in a fucking Warzone map. And he fucking won the whole thing. His
Just built
that
different.
clip of him losing his mind when he won is fucking hilarious. He's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, oh my god!" He runs out the room and runs back in.
You need to edit that clip onto your face.
He lost
What too? Shit.
It's
I should mess up.
100,000.
one solo game, 100K.
I'm just like, what's up?
We're in the wrong industry.
We're just bad. We don't.
Yeah, we're just sucking at video games.
We're just here, just chatting.
Yeah,
We'll
I
talk
need
about it.
16 hours a day for a few years.
Yeah, seriously.
16 hours a day. Fucking no life it.
I need a better seat.
So speaking of 100,000,
Another
what's the
issue.
most expensive, non-important purchase that you've ever made? Let's go ahead and throw that in there.
Non-important. What do you
Meaning
got?
like non-essential.
Yeah, like I would consider
Not a
the shelter.
house.
Yeah,
Not
the
a
shelter
fucking
like a
car.
house.
You know, something that you don't need every single day. What's yours,
And
Jacob?
watch on my computer.
So we tried to guess earlier, and
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be your tag.
Yeah, I also agree.
Isn't that what it
The
is?
The tag hewer.
Yeah.
That or the computer.
Mine
So
would
mine
have
is
to be
zero.
the,
Computer's a little more expensive.
mine would have to be the computer.
Mine is definitely my computer. I'm running operating, not even what you guys are using. I think the runner-up I have.
Wasn't yours
is-
kind of a
is-
spur of the moment thing? Y'all were just at Best Buy or
Yeah,
something,
they had
and
a
you're just
fully
like
built cyber power.
getting
I was
a
like, you know
computer
what?
today, and you're so you're just like,
Do it.
oh, okay.
Well,
'Cause
we've
what-
been
weren't you there, CJ?
telling them to build it, but we went up there to look at them. It's just like, well, and if you're going to spend your money, this was one to get. And he's like, well, I put it on the credit card.
And I'm happy.
I'm
With it.
like,
I'm happy with it still. I want to do a couple upgrades. It's got plenty.
I'm
of
glad I
room.
waited as long as I did, so I could, you know, not have. It's not like I went all out on every single part of it, but I didn't have to like be super reserved either.
Mm. That waiting kicked your ass though.
Oh, it sucked. There was a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of times that I was like, I'm never gonna have a fucking gaming PC. I just thought like I'm never gonna be in a position where I could have a fucking gaming PC. Because there was always something else that was more important to spend that money on, and so I was just I hated especially after a few of those Xboxes died on me. I'm
Mhm.
fucking so tired of playing console. So tired. And yeah, so but held out.
Hey, patience is a virtue.
No, I love my little setup.
I think we did
Watch.
pretty well. with them.
Watch
Do-
anything else? Any more anime? Anybody's
I watched. I started to watch another episode of Queso and Bonitos today, but didn't get to finish it. Other than that, I haven't really had a whole lot of time this week to watch or read anything.
I did,
But I know
finish-
y'all have, right?
Yeah,
Hadn't y'all
I
watched
finished
yourself?
RE0. Yeah, I
Like
completed-
second season? You
Yes.
finished the second season?
complete. What?
You finished the second season?
The second
Oh, you
season.
finished the first season.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're nowhere close to finish.
He was like,
Dude, what?
You didn't know there was a second season?
God.
Did you not know that?
Fuck, no, I didn't.
you didn't like it enough to check and see if there's a second season.
I was so
Exactly.
moved by
What?
The first season. I was like, this is a
No.
great place to end it. This is a perfect place to end it. Just let it slide. We're good to go.
How's that a perfect place to end it? It doesn't answer anything towards the
What are you
end of
talking
fucking
about?
season 1.
Season 1, I mean, they finally get together. Subaru
Mhm.
is like happy. He's
Okay.
laying in her lap. They're perfectly in the field. They're good. You know, they could leave it there. It's cool. I feel like that's not what's happening anymore. I
But
feel like
no.
the destiny takes a little bit of a turn.
Did you forget about a whole event that happened just down the road
explosion?
a little bit?
What, the explosion? Or
Isn't somebody dead right now?
Isn't one of
Shouldn't be dead.
the
no?
the
Rin is
twins?
alive. No, Rin's alive. Rom's alive. The princess is alive. All of them are alive right now. Even
I think
the
you're
old
forgetting
guy.
about something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Spirit Cat's alive. Everybody's alive right now. Who did I fucking forget?
Do you,
Holy shit.
you still don't even know like who
Uh,
like the main witch and like all that shit is.
I was cool with leaving it where it was at. Okay.
How?
I didn't know.
That's the whole
need-
basis of the
I didn't
entire
need to know.
season is like this
my-
cult. And
Dude, season 2 is a fuck show.
Damn it.
So I've only
Even
seen like
more.
two episodes in season 2.
You find out who she is. You find out who Cat is, who the Guardian is, who the witch is, who's making him die repeatedly, and why she's doing it, and all her other helpers and all that. You're like,
Well, I have more to
Alright.
watch.
Yeah,
the
you have
guy
a
who
lot more
goes
to
crazy
watch.
and like eats his own hands or whatever. You find out he really wasn't a bad guy. He's like,
The Herald
like,
of Sloth or something.
yes, the sloth guy. Like, he
You
used to
find
be-
out he's not a bad guy?
Yeah, he used to be a good guy.
Oh, really? That's
And
crazy.
he got corrupted. Like, he was Amelia's pretty much like unrelated uncle. Like,
Hmm.
loved her or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, so you have more to watch.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. I know you watched a lot of Bleach, didn't you?
Yeah, I finished his Unfucked Rebellion. Jacob's just shook.
I don't know how you didn't like even
so
look.
okay, so I finished the season, and then the next episode that popped up was the opposite version of what I had watched. So I thought I'd already completed it on Crunchyroll. So whenever I saw that, I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. Because what you guys were talking about was the movie. And I should have watched the movie, but instead just watched the first series. That, and then yeah, whenever it rolled over after the final episode of season
What
one.
is that style of anime called, CJ?
Beautiful.
Where you go to another world like that? And it's a certain isekai. Is that what it is?
Well,
Yeah, I that's something I need to go back to is finishing that. But there's just as we get deeper and deeper into our anime fandom, and there's just my watch list just keeps growing. And we've seen a lot, and it's just there's always something.
See, I get depression after one ends that I really like. You know, I'm just like, I'll never find anything I like again.
Yeah, I'll go
And
on
I'll find
stints.
something. And I'll be like, I fucking love this one.
Yeah, I'll go on stints of like none of these are catching me. Like
none were hitting just
like
right.
nothing is hitting me like
In
Naruto
the
hit me.
feels.
You know? Like
Well, I found comfort in them 500 episodes. What am I gonna go? Oh, I'll go watch Naruto.
You had plenty to watch.
that, or like you just get
There's
so
nothing-
tied into
yeah.
those characters and the people that die and how emotional you get throughout that show. Like
The anxiety I had in the like last 10 episodes of Naruto was unhealthy.
When it was,
I just remember
it was about
binge
to end.
watching it on my laptop. Yeah, just sitting on. It was basically just me, these headphones. I think no, one of these headphones was my studio ones. Connected into my laptop, just watching in the living room while Morgan watched her shows, and just me constantly just hitting spacebar to pause it and just looking at her and be like, "This shit is so sad." Like, it's just, and I would just tell her like, "This bitch died. This bitch died. This bitch died." Every day was just like, "This is just fucking terrible." This is so sad. Like the back half of Shippuden is just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak to like
everybody around Naruto got their heart broken in some way. Hyuga clan lost a major key role
Was
in
it you
there.
that sent me the
Damn.
thing about how that shit was real? Like based off a real thing, the eyes?
Yeah, from the
Oh, yeah.
blasts.
Yeah.
of,
Yeah, the
Blast of the Hiroshima? Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
Yeah.
That
That's
shit-
fucked up.
that's fucked up.
Yeah. The real
Pretty sure the-
pictures was fucked up.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
Right.
seeing this
Could you imagine
interview.
bullying somebody? It's like, oh, you got bad eyesight because you survived a nuclear blast, you little bitch. I'm like,
Don't
I
stare into
don't
the
think
sun,
they-
motherfucker. Dude, I
Like,
remember
how do
saying
you
this.
feel good about? I feel like everybody around you don't laugh. You're just like, what the fuck, dude?
There was a interview I saw. It was a long time ago. It was like a video clip of some. Was it World War II that they had the bombs?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like they were these military guys, I think U.S., that they were using as test subjects for these nuclear bombs
Mm.
by having them all stand out on the main deck of the carrier. And then
Yeah.
they would blast one out into the ocean and just have them
Have
sit
to get
there.
hit by the
And
radiation.
the way he explained how it felt to be hit by that kind of force, it was just so dark and depressing to hear.
Mm-hmm.
He was basically like, you
People-
could see your own bones
Yeah, from the flash.
from the flash and the radiation. It was like you were getting x-ray.
Yeah, those people like all got cancer and shit.
Yeah.
And it's
This is
fucked up.
how
If you
fucked
were
up it
close
was.
enough, you just got turned into ash.
Well, no,
Well, they did.
were out
Obviously, they
bad.
didn't put their own guys close enough to die
I'm
like
just saying.
that.
I'm saying
Uh,
that there are places out in actual Japan, in Hiroshima, that
put
they
you-
have.
Yeah, of
people,
course they did
like-
because it dropped on their fucking house.
Oh my fucking god!
They were
I'm telling
walking
you
their
that-
fucking dog. What the fuck is that? Fucking got destroyed. But fucking yeah, these guys were just like, we all need you to just stand at attention on this carrier while we shoot this. We're testing out this new rocket, this new missile. There's nothing to worry about. Okay. I'm just looking out into the ocean. Pretty day, guys. And
You
then
guys want to see
just
some fireworks?
it's 4th of July. Look at the pretty fireworks. I can see Johnny's bone structure. It's fucked up.
I saw God today.
The way the way he spoke about it was just so you could hear how broken he was from that experience. It was just so fucking sad.
Well, something even scarier to on like the nuclear test is because it's happened within the United States. Like, there's been scientists who've been dealing with like active uranium stuff, or however they're doing it in their little like containment boxes or whatever. But something's happened where I don't know. What video I watched, the guy was like touching it with a screwdriver. He was trying to fix something, and it popped open for a fucking second on the camera. All you see is the room light up, and for that split second that the lid opened and closed, that motherfucker got exposed to like the Incredible Hulk level radiation stuff.
Gamma radiation.
Yeah, and like it showed within a month, like his skin was just falling off in the bed or whatever. Jesus fucking Christ!
Did y'all watch that Chernobyl documentary on HBO? A docu-series they had? That
Some
shit
of
was
it. My dad
fucked up
watched it.
too. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that shit's real. That happened.
But it's cool to see the animals around there and how they like
Adapted.
mutated and shit. Like the deer have weird looking antlers. How they grow out and shit.
Yeah.
It's weird.
The babies are dead.
God.
All right, let's move on. Back to a little bit of anime. What is your favorite anime opening music? Only opening, no ending.
Opening music.
Yeah.
So I
think
have a little bit of a tie.
I think mine right now, it's a banger every time Tokyo Revengers opening comes on. You know?
Yeah,
That
it's a
one's
good
just
one.
like
That one is a good one.
that one
That
fucking My Hero had some bangers in there. Their last season wasn't good. The opening for last season wasn't there.
The
But,
first season of the one we watched on Amazon Prime.
Vinland Saga did have a good one.
Vinland Saga, yeah.
It did have a good one. Another
Mohican.
honorable mention is Demon Slayer season 1 was badass.
I've always kind of liked. I've been a little bit partial to it, but One Punch Man.
I'm
season
always
one.
partial to. I think the one I've listened to the most
Punch!
is Tokyo Ghoul.
I was about to say the Tokyo Ghoul is my
Is that
favorite.
is that your
Ghoul's-
favorite? Yeah, it's hard not to go there, but like as in like all in. See that style of music, like that Japanese style of like rock, I guess,
Mm.
alternative. Like if you really listen to it, it is so complex. Like the guitarist, the drummer, how everything is mixed and composed together is so fucking complex, and it's such its own entity.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing like it here in America. Well, I think the closest thing,
Do you
I
remember?
don't even know if you could compare it, is like Polyphia stuff is so its own entity here, like
What
with
genre?
being so
Very
unique
articulated
to their
music.
own thing.
Mhm.
If you ever look up like Japanese like guitarists and shit on TikTok and shit or Instagram, their technique is just on a different fucking level. Just like Tim
They're
Henson
like classically
from Polyphia.
trained, but
They
playing
play
pop
the
music.
guitar in a way that you would to me it is so outside the box of what I would even think to even play on a fretboard. If you don't know, we all three play music and play guitar and have for a while. So like that shit is just crazy to me. Like listen, if you just sit there and just listen to the music itself, like instruments wise, and how it plays into each other, it's just to me it's awesome. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but
What's that?
musically
folks,
it's awesome.
did you answer? Was your answer Tokyo Ghoul, CJ?
CJ's was Tokyo.
that
Ghoul.
one?
Yeah.
What was that? One that you were talking about. You put on in your car. It was something about like suicide or some shit.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like got a really upbeat.
yeah, it's in a major key. It's super happy and kind of like you just want to dance to it, and it's all about like suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that from an
It's-
anime or is that just a song
No, it's
or
a
from an
song.
artist?
just a song, I think.
It's Yoasobi is the artist. Yoasobi, I'm assuming something like that. Yoasobi. But the English is Into the Night. Japanese is, I think, better. But yeah, no, that shit's sad. It's like something about a girl was real sad or something. So a boy came to her in like a form or something and like tries to convince her not to commit suicide or whatever. And I really can't remember too much. Something happens, but it ends up it's actually the boy who was the sad one, and the girl was there, and she was death, trying to ease his pain by convincing him to kill himself, something like that. Real fucked
Yeah,
up.
it's fucked
Oh,
up.
okay.
But
Dark.
meanwhile, you just like bang. I love like the TikToks with the black guys are just like going in to the
Yeah,
song,
dancing to it.
It's like,
Yeah,
that one, or there's like when you're jamming out to some anime music and your thug homie walk in and you're just like,
you have to act like it's not what you're really listening to.
yeah, this shit's funny.
Another one that's also really good is I really like the Jujutsu Kaisen opening
Yeah.
music, and I like the visual for it too.
Attack on Titan.
That's a good one.
It's okay. I don't really care.
It's a good one. I wouldn't put it in my top favorites, but
No,
Naruto had Bluebird.
Naruto had a lot of openings.
What is that one with Naruto? It's like something. Yeah. What's the one? Was like it sounds like he's saying Taquito.
What?
I'm not gonna lie. I
There's a
skipped
major
lot of
opening
intros.
that's like eat a taquito. It sounds like they're saying I'm gonna eat a taquito every single time. That's the only reason I can remember it.
Oh, no.
But
It's not Bluebird, is it?
I don't know. I would have to hear it. Don't
the most
play it
famous one?
because we could get copyrighted on YouTube. But
That one?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's been a while.
They had a lot
But
of-
all right. I have 2 more questions. Before I move on, did y'all have anything else? Any questions or anything, talking points y'all wanted to hit on today? Did you have anything else, Jacob, or no?
I mean, I have one question, but I can save it for the next one.
Favorite video
podcast?
game of all time?
Are we talking about story wise?
That's up to you, man.
Just
Your
period.
favorite video game of all time?
I gotta go with an OG Assassin's Creed.
Which one though?
The
You
first
can't just
one,
pick
the
a
original
oh,
Assassin's Creed.
Really?
Yeah, the OG Assassin's Creed.
That's your
Because that
favorite
was-
game of all time?
Whenever I first got that game, I stayed in my room basically almost 4 whole days completing it. And it was, at that time, the perfect time for the traveling system between the Animus and then, you've got your guys in the character, you get, everything. It was a lot of fun. And then I learned, or not learned, but that inspired me to learn how to throw knives. So
Mhm.
I started throwing knives after that video game, and it was a lot of fun. I just enjoyed
I
it.
think Assassin's Creed, like,
It was a great
was
story.
the only part of it that was cool to me was like the parkour part.
hmm
Yeah.
Parkour.
I
you
never
jump off the
played more than
chapels.
a few hours of those games in my entire life.
Beat 'em all.
I pretty much beat all of them except for the one in Egypt. I never touched
That's
that
the
one.
only one I ever owned. Was the one in Egypt.
You're missing out. You missed out on the Ezio collection.
My favorite collection.
Mhm.
They did
Probably
them
this-
dirty with that
that's the
shitty
best
movie.
Assassin's Creed.
They did them dirty with that
Decent
shitty ass
movie.
movie. They could have done
I just
so
decided not
much
to watch the
better
movie.
on an Assassin. What's yours, CJ?
I think probably Ratchet and Clank,
Hmm.
Deadlock.
That's
Those
a good one.
games definitely had like hit a certain spot growing up that
Or Sly Cooper.
so
I mean, that was-
nostalgic.
Sly Coopers were good.
Those Ratchet and Clank games are so nostalgic. Of like, I could probably sit here and really enjoy playing a Ratchet and Clank game now.
I would go for the
Honestly.
newer one, not the older one.
Oh, obviously, but
if they could retrofit with the same graphics of the old one, I could still have fun playing them all again.
no,
I mean,
they were great
y'all
games.
saw they made a new one, the new Ratchet and Clank, but I think it's a PS4
Yeah.
or PS5 exclusive.
I played
something
it.
like
You remember the one where they came out with like a movie, and it
Mhm.
was like the same as the game. I took Caden to see the movie, and then bought and played the game at the same time. It was good.
Either that or like I spent a lot of time playing the Lego games.
Really, I don't never played a single Lego game.
I've had Eli for
Yeah.
13 years, but those are the games I enjoy.
If we're talking about okay,
just like
so
Star
we could
Wars, Lego.
it could be 2 different questions here. We could say like, what's your favorite game of all time, or what games you think had the most impact
I
on
was
you
going
in
off
your
of
gaming?
me, I was going off of what games I probably played the most of. And
Really?
I mean, I just felt like I played those games constantly.
So there's some games that like were just more impactful than others. Like throughout, like to me, like Call of Duty 4, the original Modern Warfare,
when it brought everybody
I
together.
that was the first game that brought me into multiplayer. and I played so much of that, dude. 10th
Played so much, I
Prestige,
had a
level
seizure.
55. That wasn't COD 4, but that was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Call of Duty 4 was, I remember playing that on my dad's Xbox because it wasn't even my Xbox. And I just remember, I was like, what the fuck is multiplayer? And I go to it and I played one game, gone. Rest of my life. Video game. Playing that shit. Fucking, it just, the impact for like my gaming life or whatever of this hobby just like exploded after that. The Ratchet and Clank games were really impactful. Halo 3, you can't not mention
loved it.
Halo 3 co-op campaign, playing that at friends' houses with like the split screen. Like everyone played that game, I feel like. At least in our friend group.
That
mean,
is
Joe, I feel-
zombies.
Yeah, zombies. That's another thing. It's like
was a
so
lot of fun.
impactful. Like the amount of hours you spend playing with friends, playing those games. It was just, yeah. It's hard to pick out of those and say like which one's my like best of all time. Those are some like the most impactful for sure.
I remember going over to CJ's house, sitting down in his like living room, playing Legendary Halo all the way through
Yeah.
the campaign.
Yeah.
Like it was just fun to do, and we would do it multiple times.
That's back when campaigns were like.
Guitar Hero was fun.
Oh yeah, Guitar Hero.
I was more Guitar Hero, not Rock Band.
I would say Minecraft was impactful.
Yeah.
At least
It's
for
got
me
a-
and Jacob. I know CJ not a fan, but Minecraft was a. How does that game out of all games give you a headache?
Too many blocks.
You know, there's a lot of games that you start up that has seizure warnings. You know what's not one of them? Minecraft. So how the fuck do you get a headache?
I don't have epilepsy.
I know. There was some other.
Flashbangs don't bother me.
They do me. Remember when they had what was it?
Dude,
Black
you know what I
Ops
just
2?
remember?
They had the 9-bang that they came out with.
Yeah, that was fucking
I
ridiculous.
saw that.
You know what I just thought of,
can't
Jacob?
play this game.
Fucking Army of Two.
Yes. Oh,
You remember
yes.
playing that
Army
shit
of
together?
2 was
Going for
great.
gold guns and shit on that
Yes.
game, dude.
We did the money glitch for that
Dude,
shit.
Yeah.
We replayed a mission over and over
Mhm.
again to blow up a bridge with an RP or demolition charges, whatever. And we had got like $80,000 every time we did that. And then we just turn around, upgrade the guns, upgrade the money, get the masks, get all the.
That's a
armor.
game they need to come back out with.
Yes.
Like, they need to come out with more co-op campaign games.
I would
in general.
love it.
Like,
I would love to have a game that is so co-op, like tactical warfare esque, where like somebody had to be like sniper, like Overwatch, so almost like a Tom
Ooh.
Clancy game, but
Yeah.
without the feel. I sometimes feel like Tom Clancy games. I hate the fact to where I click and I have to run to a cover and you like slam into the cover, whatever. Like it's too drawn out of a process sometimes for me to feel like in an actual firefight, it's out of my way. So if they could somehow make that smooth or of a transition of gameplay, but that shit would be fun as fuck. Like, like Wildlands.
Wildlands was fun.
That's the best Tom Clancy game so far. But they could do something like that or SOCOM, so where each person has to choose their role or whatever, and then they give you missions that actually require that teamwork to be implemented. That'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit.
Wildlands was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
wish you
that
would
I
have
never
hopped on that
played.
train. Yeah. That one, I think, we had that one before. Was that before computers? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was
that
before.
Xbox.
Way before
Yeah.
computers.
mm,
That was.
fucking co-op games in general. Like, I mean, for me, anyways. Like, most of the time when I'm playing video games, it's social. reason, you know. Like I get bored playing games by myself.
Mhm.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter
same.
what the game is. Like I can only play for a couple hours. I'm just like, I'm done. Like I'm just bored because you want to play with friends, you know.
Mhm.
So like I wish games still came out more with. I'm surprised they don't have more co-op campaign style games like your major developers coming out. Like why is Call of Duty not co-op campaign? Why is this Halo campaign not co-op campaign? That one surprised me because they
They're
were always
releasing-
built on that shit.
They're apparently releasing the co-op additive like closer to March this year.
Why not off release?
They wanted to get the competitive side.
I get like certain games not being co-op, like Horizon Zero Dawn, beautiful, awesome game, not co-op. I get it. It's kind of a solo story type game, whatever. But like a lot of games just should be. I would buy more I would play more story games if they were co-op, something that we could play together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
that
For
aren't
sure.
like the little 2D animated like.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, shitty or weird. Y'all have anything else you want to hit on? We're already at hour 16. This is officially
Yeah.
our longest podcast.
I think we should hit that final question you got over there.
No, I think we'll end on that on
Well,
our
no,
favorite
all right.
video game of all time.
Okay.
All right, now I can go
Yeah.
play some Apex.
I do want to play some
Jacob was
tonight.
killing it.
You said Jacob was killing it.
It did pretty good. He sold.
He said
one
you were
thing.
killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
why
were
don't y'all
killing
go
it.
ahead
You
and
did
blow
great.
each
Yeah.
other before we okay. But hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Shonen Bros podcast, episode 5. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on YouTube, we're also on Twitch. Recording, you can watch it live if you want. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're everywhere. Just search the Shonen Bros. You can probably find our content. Please leave a rating, 5-star rating, because you know we're that good. And tune in for the next one. Thank you guys. Peace.